Hello and welcome to my channel. Today is a special day as it's my dad's birthday, and since he's a big Thunderbirds fan, I'm going to build up and paint this Jetmo model for him and hopefully make a nice little base to display it. As you can probably tell, this is a Japanese kit and I picked this up on the second-hand market. The box art gives us a clear indication of what the Jetmo does. It basically digs holes. Inside we have the sprues and the instructions. These are the metal pins for the wheels. These are the Japanese instructions along with the images. And then we have the translation sheet for the instructions. But there aren't that many parts, so it should be fairly self-explanatory. But we'll have a look to be sure. So we have two main sprues. The yellow one is for the mold itself, and the blue one is for the transport vehicle. And I have no idea what the black one is for because I can't find any note of them in the box. Alright, first things first, start removing the pieces from the sprue. And then clean them up with a file. And then using some model cement, assemble the pieces. I'm assembling this kit in three main sections based on the colours. The nose cone will be silver, the main body of the mold will be yellow, and the transport vehicle is black or dark blue. By doing it in sections, it makes it easier to paint before final assembly. So I start off by priming the nose cone, followed by painting it silver. And then I prime and paint the main body yellow. I leave these two side panels on the sprue and paint them black. This makes it easier to paint, but unfortunately afterwards I do have to touch it up. The second sprue is going to be all black, so I'll prime and paint that. And once again it will need touching up once I remove it from the sprue. And now I can start assembling the mold, starting with the wheels. As you can see, the drill needs to be put into play before I can assemble both halves. And then I can place on the back piece. And then the two side pieces, and that concludes the main construction of the mold. And now to get started on the transport. The wheels go on first. Strangely, the front set of wheels go in loose. They could have done with a bridge piece to secure them into place. And now to add the framework. And these two raised sections will form a cradle for the mold to sit in. Next I add on the tracks. And then it's a matter of gluing the top and bottom sections together. lastly, there's a front and rear panel to add, and that's construction complete. So I just need to touch up the base paint, and these are the areas where I separated the parts from the sprue. I'm painting the jet at the back, complete the basic paint job, and this is how it's looking so far. I now need to move on to painting the details. There are a couple of red panels at the front, along with various silver buttons. To bring out all the detail on the transport, I give it a silver dry brush. On the actual model, it has the word "more" written on it. I attempted to do this in pen, but it just looked awful. So in the end I just used some alcohol to wipe it off and left it blank. I used some panel liner to bring out some of the finer details. Right, I need to get started with the base so it has time to dry. And for this I just used PVC board, and I used a few scrap pieces to build up the layers, because basically I'm building up a ramp for the mold to drive up. So when it comes to adding the sculptor mould, I don't need to use too much, and this helps to keep the weight down. Adding the sculptor mould is just like mixing flour and water. You only have a short working time before it starts to harden. So I'll make sure I cover every area. And once it's all on and starting to solidify, I can start to smooth it out a little bit. Then I need to put this to one side to dry for a day or so before continuing. And back to the mould. I add a variety of weathering powders to make it look beat up and used. The general rule is use the lighter powders for the dark areas and the dark powders for the light areas. And that will need sealing in with a matte sealer, otherwise it will rub off. And now my base has dried, I add on some brown shoe polish. This will make a good muddy base once I brush it all in. And once that's dried, I'll give it a dry brush with a lighter shade of brown. And this will make it easier to see the details. Then I'll finish it off by giving the edges a nice trim in black. And for one last piece of detail for the mole, I'll brush in some ground texture for that added level of detail, which will help make it look like there's mud on the tracks. And there's our finished mole along with the base. Now let's put it on the turntable and check it out from all angles. It was a pretty straightforward kit to make and made a nice change. It was a shame there was no decal with this set, because they would have helped add an extra layer of detail. Well, I'm quite pleased with the finished product. I just hope Dad likes it too. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, if I can do it, so can you.